Of colour, look from the green.
It's amazing, huh?
It's very cool.
Okay, so Martin, tell me how you found this few days here.
I find them very interesting. I find them a moment of space for reflection and thinking, and talking to fellow people who think about the same issues that I think in my daily life without being involved in the same daily politics that my colleagues are at my company.
Okay. Now, something that came to me yesterday, and if there's anything else you want to talk about, just shout, but somebody said you can't do ethnography without theory. Ethnography without theory is nothing. How did that leave you feeling?
I was sympathetic in a way. I would have not said theory. I would say ethnography without analysis is nothing. And I think that's where I would base it. Yes, and probably for analysis you need theory, so you could say that. But I think the important thing is the analysis. It's the thinking that goes into it and what you do with the data that you've got. And for that, not only anthropological theory is necessary, there's a lot of other input. And if I look back onto my own anthropological work, I drew on philosophy as well as economics, as well as history and all sorts of other disciplines. So I think it's the combination of all these theories into analysis and the ideas that you come up with at the end of that makes the difference.
The thing I find is that most people here engage, academics or commercial, engage in long-term ethnographic studies. In other words, things that can take...
Do you think so?
But that's the impression I get. I mean, am I right or am I wrong?
I don't know. I would like to engage in longer studies than the ones I do sometimes.
So what are your typical lengths, sort of?
Typical lengths of the research itself?
Including, you know, from starting to...
Project length is varying, but I think it's not the research that's the long part. It's the implementing, the working it through at the end that is much longer. And I see it as far more important, in fact, than the actual research.
Absolutely. And you get involved in that too?
Yes, very much. And I think that's the reason why I wanted to be back on client side, because I want to be able to continue that impact after you complete the research and your findings.
Right. Now that's interesting because we don't do that bit of it in being in sort of where we sit. So that means you have to have a sort of another layer of understanding about the organization and how that works and how that adopts change and insight and input and things like that. Anything else?
I think utilizing your data, and I think that's what the comment meant, was that if you only gather data, gathering data is monkey work and that can be commoditized. It's what you do with that with that data to create insight. That was the term that was used this morning.
And the battle that I have, the reason for ethnostachyr is to say that what we do with that data, if it's seen to look like the kind of thing that anybody, any qualitative researcher with an ounce of intelligence can make those lateral moves and changes and looks at that data in order to come up with insights and conclusions. Why? My point earlier when I said we're qual researchers, if you want to call yourself an ethnographer, call yourself an ethnographer. Where does an ethnographer stand out? Just that we use a video camera? Or that we take pictures?
I don't think it's techniques. So let me try probably a very crude and not well thought out example. Everybody can hammer a nail into the wall, but probably a builder is much better at it. We can all handle the hammer, we can all do it, but it's not using the hammer and the nail that makes us a good builder. It's the skill by which they do it, or by how fast they can do it, how precise they can do it. So it's what they do with the stuff to come up with something at the end, which is what I'd say is the analysis. Now, this is a metaphor that we might have to kind of change, but as an idea, it's what you do with it. So yes, you might represent a builder with a hammer and other tools, but is that really? It's not the hammer that makes him the good builder.
So is it feasible? Are you saying that it's quite feasible for you to take a piece of research insight, and your ethnographic skill is about implementing that change within the organization, feeding it in, and making sure that it takes place?
Both that, and as someone said today, to maybe reevaluate some previous research and look at it from a different perspective with that ethnographic lens. And I think that makes often gives new insights and new value.